A woman broken by life hides behind a shopping mall, begging for food while hundreds of people pass by without even looking at her. Alone, weak, and hopeless, she says one last prayer, little knowing that God had already sent someone. But it wasn't who she expected. It was the man everyone ignored, the invisible caretaker no one respected. And what begins as a simple gesture of compassion transforms into something much bigger, an unlikely love story, profound restoration, and a miracle that proves God always answers, even when we think He's not listening. Prepare yourself, because the ending of this story will bring tears to your eyes. Sarah Mitchell was 32 years old, but she seemed to carry the weight of a lifetime on her shoulders. Her brown hair was tangled, her green eyes dulled by exhaustion. Her clothes, once beautiful, but now dirty and torn, clung to her. She was crouched behind the Riverside Mall in Portland, Oregon, in a dark corner between the trash cans and the cold brick wall. It was late afternoon on a Tuesday in November, and the icy wind cut her skin like a razor. 3 years ago, Sarah had a decent job as an administrative assistant, a small but cozy apartment, and plans to go back to nursing school. She went to church on Sundays, had friends, and dreamed of having a family. But then came the unexpected layoff when the company closed. Then, the depression she couldn't identify or treat, the overdue bills, the eviction, the shame of asking for help, the pride that prevented her from returning to her parents' home in Tennessee. And suddenly, she was on the streets, invisible, a shadow among other shadows. At that moment, her stomach churning with hunger, she hadn't eaten anything for 2 days except for half a sandwich she found in the trash. Sarah felt she had hit rock bottom. She watched people leaving the mall with full shopping bags, laughing, talking on their cell phones, getting into hot cars. Nobody looked at her. Nobody saw her. "Excuse me, do you have any change? Or something to eat?" she whispered, extending her trembling hand. People looked away. Some quickened their pace. Others pretended she simply didn't exist. One woman snatched her bag tightly and muttered something about bums as she walked away quickly. Each rejection was like a punch to her already empty stomach. Sarah shrank back into her corner, hugging her knees to her chest, trying to hold back the tears that insisted on falling. The shame was almost worse than the hunger. How had she ended up here? How had a person with dreams, education, and faith become this? "God," she whispered, her voice breaking. "I know I haven't talked to you much lately. I know maybe I don't deserve it. But I need help. I can't take it anymore. Please, if you're still there, if you still care about me, help me. I don't know what to do anymore." The silence that followed was deafening. Only the distant rumble of cars and the cold wind blowing trash across the parking lot could be heard. Sarah closed her eyes, feeling warm tears stream down her cold face. Perhaps God had given up on her. Perhaps she had gone too far. What Sarah didn't know was that, at that very moment, God was already answering her prayer. Marcus Thompson was 56 years old and had worked as a janitor at the Riverside Mall for almost 15 years. A black man of medium height, with neatly cut gray hair, he always wore his impeccably clean navy blue uniform, even when the job was dirty. Marcus had large, calloused hands, a gentle smile, and eyes that seemed to see beyond appearances. He was practically invisible. People passed by him every day, shopkeepers, security guards, customers, and rarely said, "Good morning." To most, he was just part of the scenery, another employee doing a job nobody wanted to do. Some treated him with indifference, others with open contempt. But Marcus never complained. He did his job with dignity, hummed gospel hymns while cleaning the bathrooms, and always had a kind word for anyone who wanted to listen. Marcus knew the value of honest work and unwavering faith. He had been through hard times in life. He lost his wife to cancer 10 years ago, raised 2 daughters alone, faced racism and prejudice. But he never lost his kindness or his certainty that God had a purpose for everything. That Tuesday afternoon, Marcus was finishing his shift, taking the last bags of trash to the back bins. He pushed the heavy cart, softly whistling a church song, when something caught his attention. A movement in the corner, among the shadows. He stopped. Most people would have ignored him, kept walking. But Marcus wasn't like most people. "Hello? Is anyone there?" he called, his gentle voice echoing in the empty space. Sarah lifted her head, startled. Her eyes met Marcus's, and for a moment she thought of running away. But she had no strength. She had nowhere to go. Hey, calm down," Marcus said, dropping the cart and approaching slowly, his hands open in a gesture of peace. "I'm not going to do anything. I just want to know if you're okay." I'm fine," Sarah lied, her voice weak and hoarse. Marcus came closer and saw better. He saw her sunken eyes, her torn clothes, the trembling in her body. He saw something that no one else had seen that day. He saw a person, a daughter of God who was suffering. "Are you hungry?" he asked, getting straight to the point. Sarah hesitated. Pride still fought within her, but hunger was stronger. She nodded, tears beginning to fall again. "When was the last time you ate something?" I don't know. 2 days, I think." Marcus felt his heart clench. Without thinking twice, he reached into his pocket and pulled out his wallet. He had 2 $20 bills, all he had until his next paycheck in 3 days. Money he had set aside to buy blood pressure medication and pay part of the electricity bill. But when Marcus looked at Sarah, shivering with cold and hunger in that dark corner, he didn't think twice. "Look," he said, holding out the bills. "Take this. Go to the food court and eat something hot, okay? Something that will really fill you up." Sarah stared at the money as if it were a mirage. $40. To her, at that moment, it was a fortune. I can't accept," she whispered, even though every fiber of her being screamed to take that money. "You don't know me. I can be anything." "You're someone who needs help," Marcus replied, with the simplicity that only those who truly know Jesus possess, "and I can help. So please take it." "God put you in my path today, and I'm not going to ignore it." Sarah took the money with trembling hands, and the tears she had been holding back burst forth. She began to sob, the full weight of those months on the streets crashing down at once. Hey, it's going to be okay," Marcus said, and without thinking, he took off the sweatshirt he was wearing under his uniform and put it over her shoulders. "Keep it. It's too cold for you to be like that. Why are you doing this?" Sarah asked between sobs. Nobody stops for me. Nobody sees me." Marcus crouched down in front of her, looking into her green eyes filled with pain. "Because Jesus sees me every day, even when other people don't, and he taught me to do the same. You're not invisible, young lady. God sees you, and today, he used me to show you that." Those simple words, spoken with absolute sincerity, touched something deep within Sarah, something she thought had died. A small spark of hope. "What's your name?" Marcus asked. Sarah Mitchell. "Nice to meet you, Sarah. I'm Marcus Thompson. And look, I work here every day, Monday through Friday, from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. If you need anything at all, just come see me, okay? You're not alone." Sarah couldn't believe what she was hearing. After months of being treated like trash, as if she didn't exist, here was a man, a complete stranger, offering not only help, but dignity, respect, humanity. "Thank you," she whispered, pressing her coat against her body. I don't know how to thank you. No need to thank me. Just grab something to eat, warm up, and be okay, all right? Life can change quickly, Sarah. Sometimes all we need is a little push in the right direction." Marcus went back to the trash cart, but before leaving, he turned to her one more time. "Oh, and Sarah, God heard your prayer. You can be sure of that." Sarah stood there, hugging the coat that smelled of laundry detergent and faith, feeling the money tightly in her hand. And for the first time in a long time, she allowed a small hope to be born in her heart. Maybe, just maybe, she wasn't completely lost. That night, Sarah ate a hot meal for the first time in days, a plate of grilled chicken with rice and vegetables from the food court. Each bite felt like a miracle. She ate slowly, savoring it, feeling her strength return to her exhausted body. With the money she had left, she bought a sandwich to save for the next day and a hot coffee to warm her cold hands. While eating, seated in a discreet corner of the food court, Sarah couldn't stop thinking about Marcus. That simple man in the navy blue uniform, who had given everything he had without hesitation. She tried to remember the last time someone had been kind to her like that, without expecting anything in return, and she couldn't. Kindness had become so rare in her life that when it finally appeared, it almost didn't seem real, but it was real. The coat was still draped over her shoulders, her stomach was finally full, and those words, "God heard your prayer," echoed in her mind like a distant bell, calling something within her back to life. Sarah returned to her corner behind the mall that night, but something had changed. For the first time in months, she didn't feel completely hopeless. She slept hugging Marcus's coat, and that night, she dreamed of better days. The following days were hard, as they always were. But now Sarah had something she hadn't had before, a reason to stay there. Every afternoon, around 2 o'clock, she saw Marcus arriving for work. Sometimes he would just wave from afar, a gentle smile on his face. Other times he would stop to chat. "How are you today, Sarah?" "Better. Thank you for asking. Did you eat anything?" "I managed to get some change this morning. I bought a sandwich." Marcus always listened with genuine attention, as if she were the most important person in the world at that moment. And every week, without fail, he would show up with something. An extra sandwich he had left over from lunch, a bottle of water, a pair of gloves when the cold got more intense. Once even a blanket that he said he wasn't using anymore. Sarah knew he was spending his own money on her. She knew he probably didn't have much, but Marcus never made it seem like a sacrifice. He always gave happily, as if it were a privilege to be able to help. "Marcus," she said one day, after 3 weeks of these daily meetings, "why do you keep doing this? You don't even really know me." They were sitting on the back steps of the mall during his break. Marcus had brought 2 hot coffees, and steam rose in the cold December air. "You know, Sarah, when I lost my wife 10 years ago," Marcus began, looking at the horizon where the sun was beginning to set, "I fell into a dark hole. Deep depression, you know. I had 2 young daughters to raise alone, a job that barely paid the bills, and a pain in my chest that felt like it was going to kill me. There were days when I thought about giving up on everything." Sarah listened in silence, seeing a side of Marcus that he hadn't shown before. But then a man appeared in my life, a pastor from the church I sometimes attended. He didn't judge me, he didn't preach, he just showed up. Every week, he knocked on my door, brought food, played with my girls, stayed there with me in silence when I didn't have the strength to speak. He helped me pay the rent when I was behind. He took me to the doctor when I finally admitted I needed help. Marcus took a sip of his coffee, his eyes glistening with restrained tears. "That man saved me, Sarah. And do you know what he told me when I finally managed to thank him? He said, Marcus, we don't help people expecting them to pay us back. We help because someone helped us first. Jesus died for us when we were still sinners, remember? So we pass that on. That's how God's love spreads throughout the world." Sarah felt a lump in her throat. "So that's what I'm doing," Marcus continued, turning to look at her. "I'm passing on what I received. And it's not charity, Sarah. It's love. It's recognizing that we're all broken in some way. We all need help. And that God uses imperfect people like you and me to do beautiful things in this world. But I have nothing to offer," Sarah whispered, her voice breaking. "I'm a disaster. I can't even take care of myself." "That's not true," Marcus said firmly. "You're strong, Sarah. You survived. You're still here, still fighting, and that's already a lot. Besides, you have something very valuable to offer." "What?" "Your story. One day when you get through this, and you will, I promise, you'll be able to look back and help someone who's exactly where you are now. You'll understand that person's pain in a way I never will. And your help will mean everything to them, because you'll be speaking with the authority of someone who's been through the storm and survived." Those words planted something deep in Sarah's heart. For the first time, she was able to imagine a future, not just surviving but living, not just receiving help, but being able to help others. Months passed, and the friendship between Sarah and Marcus grew. He wasn't just someone who provided food and clothing. He was someone who listened to her, who believed in her, who never made her feel inferior or ashamed. Marcus told stories about his daughters, about the church, about the faith that sustained him, and little by little, Sarah began to open her heart as well. She told him about the family in Tennessee she had distanced herself from out of pride, about her dreams of becoming a nurse, about the depression that had consumed her and the shame that had prevented her from asking for help. And Marcus listened to everything without judgment, simply nodding his head in understanding. "Have you ever thought about calling your family?" he asked one day. "And I think about it every day," Sarah admitted. "But how do I come back after all this? After disappearing for 3 years? They must hate me." "Family doesn't hate, Sarah. Family forgives. And I bet they're praying for you every day, asking God to bring you back home." That thought kept nagging at her, but the fear was still too great. It was in February, 4 months after that first meeting, that everything truly changed. Sarah was in her usual spot when she heard loud voices. A group of mall security guards had surrounded a young girl, no more than 18 years old, who was trying to sleep near the containers. "I already told you not to stay here," one of the security guards shouted, a burly man with a menacing expression. "This is private property. Get out." "I'm not doing anything," the girl protested, her voice thin and frightened. "As I'm just trying to sleep." "You're scaring away the customers. Look at you, all dirty. Go sleep somewhere else." Sarah saw the scene and felt something burning inside her chest. She knew that contempt. She had been treated that way countless times. But now, looking at that girl, so young, so frightened, so much like herself a few months ago, something inside her awakened. Before she could think better of it, Sarah stood up and walked over to the group. "Leave her alone," she said, her voice surprisingly firm. The security guards turned to her, surprised. "And who are you?" the burly man asked disdainfully. "Someone who knows what it's like to be treated like trash," Sarah replied, planting herself in front of the girl. "She's not doing anything wrong. She's just trying to survive. Look, we have orders. There can't be any beggars here." "A beggar?" Sarah felt her anger rising. "She has a name. She has a history. She has value. And if you can't see that, the problem is yours, not hers." It was at that moment that Marcus appeared, having heard the commotion. "What's going on here?" he asked, positioning himself next to Sarah. "Marcus, these two are causing trouble," the security guard said, irritated. "I told them to leave the property." Marcus looked at Sarah, saw the determination in her eyes, and a feeling of pride filled him. The broken woman he had met months ago was there, standing tall, defending someone weaker. She had found her voice again. "They're not bothering anyone," Marcus said calmly. "And while I'm here, no one will be mistreated. Go do your job and leave these girls alone." The security guard huffed, annoyed. But Marcus had a reputation as a respectable man among the employees. After a few tense seconds, they walked away, grumbling. Sarah turned to the girl, who was still trembling. "Everything's all right," she said softly. "You're safe now. What's your name?" "Lily," the girl whispered. "Hi, Lily, I'm Sarah. Are you hungry?" And there, in that moment, Sarah did what Marcus had done for her months before. She shared her sandwich. She offered her extra blanket. She sat next to Lily and talked to her, really talked, making her feel seen and important. Marcus watched everything from afar, his eyes brimming with tears. He was witnessing something beautiful unfold. Sarah was passing on what she had received. After that night, something changed permanently in Sarah. She had discovered that, even at rock bottom, she could still make a difference in someone's life. That feeling of purpose, of being useful again, rekindled a flame she thought had died. Marcus noticed the transformation. In the following days, he found Sarah not only taking care of herself, but also helping Lily and other homeless people who showed up. She shared food, offered words of encouragement, listened to stories. She had become, without realizing it, exactly what Marcus had been to her, a light in the darkness. "You know you've changed, right?" Marcus said one day, smiling as they had coffee together. "What do you mean?" Sarah asked, genuinely curious. "You've started shining again. I can't quite explain it, but there's a light in you that wasn't there before. It's like you found yourself again." Sarah thought about it and realized he was right. She was still on the streets, still fighting every day, but she no longer felt lost. She had purpose. She had renewed faith. And she had something she didn't expect to have again. She had hope. "It's because of you," she said softly. "You showed me that I still have value, that I can make a difference." Marcus shook his head, his eyes shining. "It wasn't me, Sarah. It was God working through both of us. I was only obedient when he asked me to stop and look at you that day. The rest was you finding the strength that was always within you." They remained silent for a moment, a comfortable silence of those who understand each other without needing words. It was Sarah who broke the silence, and her voice hesitant. "Marcus, I think I'm ready." "Ready for what?" "To call my parents, to go back home." Marcus's eyes immediately filled with tears. He had prayed for this moment every day. "Sarah, that's wonderful. When are you going to call?" "I was thinking, could you stay with me?" "When I call, I don't know if I can do this alone." Marcus didn't hesitate for a second. "Of course. I'll be here with you. Always." 2 days later, with Marcus's borrowed cell phone in hand, Sarah dialed the number she had memorized since childhood. Her parents' house number in Tennessee. Her fingers trembled so much that Marcus had to hold her other hand for support. The phone rang once, twice, 3 times. "Hello?" Her mother's voice. Sarah recognized it immediately, and the sound almost knocked her over. "Mom?" she whispered, tears already streaming down her face. "Mom, it's me, Sarah." On the other end of the line, a muffled scream was heard, followed by sobs. "Sarah, Sarah, my daughter. Is that really you? My God, thank God. Robert, come here quickly. It's Sarah." "Mom, I'm so sorry. For everything. For disappearing. For not calling. For..." No, my daughter. You don't need to apologize. Are you okay? Where are you? Are you safe? I'm in Portland. Things got tough, Mom. Really tough. I was homeless for a while, but now I'm better. I found help. I found a friend who showed me that God hadn't abandoned me. The mother was sobbing on the other end of the street. "We never stopped looking for you, my daughter. We never stopped praying. Every night I asked God to bring you back home. I know, Mother." And he heard. Finally, he heard. The conversation lasted more than an hour. Sarah spoke with her mother, her father, even her younger brother whom she hadn't seen in years. There were tears, requests for forgiveness, promises to start over, and in the end, a plane ticket. Her father bought it right then and there, for the next available flight. "You're coming home, Sarah," her father said, his voice thick with emotion. "Tomorrow. You're coming home and we're going to help you rebuild your life. Together. As a family." When Sarah hung up the phone, she collapsed into Marcus's arms, crying profusely. But they were tears of relief, of joy, of liberation. The weight of the last 3 years seemed to be lifting from her. "You did it," Marcus said, hugging her tightly. "You took the hardest step. Now all you have to do is move forward." "I don't know how to thank you, Marcus. Without you, I wouldn't be here now. I don't even know where I would be." "You would be exactly where God wanted you to be at the right time," Marcus replied with that simple yet profound wisdom. "Because everything has a purpose. Sarah, even pain, even suffering. God uses everything to mold us and prepare us for what lies ahead." Sarah spent her last night in Portland at Marcus's house. He insisted, saying he wouldn't let her sleep on the street the night before returning home. His daughters, now adults, prepared a special dinner. And there, in that simple but loving home, Sarah felt for the first time in years what it was like to have a family again. The next day, Marcus took her to the airport. Sarah was wearing clean clothes that his daughters had given her. carrying a small suitcase full of gifts and a Bible that Marcus had insisted she take. "This one belonged to my wife," he said, handing over the sacred book with its worn leather cover. She wrote several passages in the margins, things that helped her through difficult times. "I want you to keep it. It will guide you when you need it." "Marcus, I can't accept this. This is too precious for you." "That's exactly why I want you to have it. Because you are precious to me, Sarah. In all these months, you haven't just been someone I've helped. You've become a part of my life. You've shown me that there's still purpose in what I do, that every small act of kindness can change an entire life." Sarah hugged Marcus tightly, unable to speak. There weren't enough words to express the gratitude, the love, the respect she felt for that man. "Promise me something," Marcus asked, holding her shoulders and looking deep into her eyes. "Anything. Don't forget where you came from. Don't forget what you've been through. And when you're standing on your feet again, when your life is rebuilt, remember to look around and see who needs what you needed. Pass that on, Sarah. That's how we keep God's love alive in the world." "I promise," Sarah said, tears streaming freely. "I promise I'll pass this on, always." Sarah returned to Tennessee that day, and the months that followed were a slow but steady rebuilding process. Her family welcomed her without judgment, with pure and unconditional love. She began therapy to treat her depression. She returned to church. She took a preparatory course and finally got into the nursing school she had always dreamed of. But she never forgot her promise. Every month, without fail, Sarah would call Marcus. They would talk for hours, catching up on life, sharing victories and challenges. And gradually, those calls became the best part of both their weeks. "You know I miss you, right?" Sarah said in one of those calls. She had already been in Tennessee for 6 months. "I feel yours too, girl," Marcus replied. And there was something different in his voice. Something Sarah hadn't noticed before, but which now seemed obvious. "Marcus, can I ask you a question?" "Of course. Do you feel anything for me, besides friendship?" There was silence on the other end, a heavy silence, full of unspoken truths. "Sarah, Marcus hesitated. "I don't want you to think I helped you expecting something in return. That wasn't it. It never was. I know that," Sarah said softly. "But that's not what I asked. I asked if you feel anything." Marcus sighed deeply. "Yes, I feel it. I've felt it for months. But you're younger. You have your whole life ahead of you. You deserve someone better than a 56-year-old janitor." "Marcus Thompson," Sarah said, her voice firm but full of emotion. "You are the most worthy, kindest, most God-filled man I have ever known in my life. You saved me when I had given up on myself. You showed me what true love is, and if you think I'm going to let you go just because you think you're not good enough, you don't know me well. Sarah, I love you, Marcus. I think I've loved you since that first day, but I didn't have the courage to admit it because I was afraid of ruining our friendship. But I can't take it anymore. I need you to know." On the other end of the line, Marcus was openly crying. "I love you too, Sarah. God is my witness. I've loved you since the day I looked into those green eyes and saw a strong woman hiding behind the pain. I was just afraid you wouldn't feel the same." 3 months later, Sarah returned to Portland. But this time, she didn't go back to the streets. She went back to be with Marcus. They officially started dating, with the blessing of both their families. And a year later, in a simple but beautiful wedding at the church Marcus attended, they became husband and wife. Sarah finished nursing school and got a job at a local hospital. Marcus continued working as a janitor because he loved his job and the purpose he had found in it. Together, they started a ministry at the church, helping homeless people and those in vulnerable situations, just like Marcus had helped Sarah that day behind the mall. And today, 5 years after that first meeting, they have 2 beautiful children, a home full of love, and a story they tell to anyone who wants to listen, because it's a story of redemption, of faith, of how God works in the most unlikely places through the simplest people. Sarah never forgot where she came from. Every week, she returns to the back of the Riverside Mall and brings food, clothes, and hope to those in need. And whenever she finds someone in that same corner where she was, she crouches down, looks into their eyes and says, "You are not invisible. God sees you. And today, He used me to show you that." And so, the cycle continues. Love passed on, one life at a time. The story of Sarah and Marcus teaches us that God never abandons His children, even when we think He isn't listening. Sometimes, the answer comes through simple people, those whom the world insists on ignoring. But it is precisely these people who carry the heart of Christ, a heart that sees beyond appearances, that loves without expecting anything in return, that restores what has been broken. If you're going through a difficult time today, remember that God is already working on your story. And if you are able to help someone, don't wait for the perfect moment. Sometimes a simple gesture can change an entire life. Because in the end, we are all instruments in God's hands, and love only multiplies when we pass it on. If this story touched you, leave a like, comment what you thought, and subscribe to keep hearing stories like this one I'm sharing with you. May God bless you and your family.